Good day, students and teachers. We start today with 2.3 in your syllabus. 2.3 you will see is about financial institutions. Very relevant because we work every day with it. We see it around us every day. Okay, so firstly we will look at the need for exchange. And then we will look at functions and qualities and types of money. And then we will look at exchange rates, how to define it, how to calculate it, and how it influences the economy if it is fluctuating. Okay, now the need for exchange is many years ago, when there was no money involved, and there was no money that you can give to get the good and service that you want. But in that time, they have used a system which is called barter. So you had to give a sheep if you want from somebody, say, maize or seeds for plants that you want, vegetables that you want to plant. So with barter, there is a lot of problems that occur. And the first problem, which they called coincidence, is that you must look for a person that wants the product that you offer and also have the product that you want. So that becomes very time consuming. And it's not easy. And then there is also, when barter is involved, there's also lots of arguments involved. Is what is the value of your sheep in comparison to my maize that I gave you? How many bags of maize must I give you for one sheep? Is it 10? Is it 12? Is it 50? So you will perhaps say 15 and I will say 12. So that is a problem with barter. Now, if we look at money, it is important for you to realize that money must have certain functions. Otherwise, we can't see it as money. So firstly, they say money must be a medium of exchange. So if you give me this sheep, I can give you in return money. Now what is good about this money is that you can use it whenever you want to use it. And then the second point, what is good, is that you can divide the money. And where you couldn't, if you pay me with cattle, you can't divide a cow. And that is a problem. Okay, then it must be a unit of account, money, or a measure of what value. So you will tell me, at today's rates, publish on the internet, a cow that weighs 500 kilos is worth $8,000. You put a value to that cow. It is exact. And that is money measurement. Money gives you that function that you can put a value to your goods and services that you offer. Then the next function of money is that it must have a store value. So if you give me the sheep and I give you the money for that sheep, what can you do with it? You can save it somewhere and only use parts of it. Nothing will happen to that money. You can save it at home, you can save it in the bank. It will still be usable a long time after that, because it don't damage easily, it don't tear easily, it don't rust. That is qualities. You can store it. But if I gave you the sheep, or you gave me the sheep and I gave you tomatoes, you will see that to pay for it, that will not have the store value, because it can only last a few months, not years and years, like money. Then the last function of money is that money must be a standard of deferred payment. What that means is that I can get the product you put on the market and that you put on the market for selling to whoever is interested. I can get it, but I can pay over, say, 6 months for that product. I sign an agreement, a contract, that I will pay over 6 months with interest. And what happened then is that I can get the product already to use. And this is a benefit that money also gives you, a function of money that barter couldn't give you. Okay, so the next point that we look at is the characteristics of money. Money must have certain qualities, they sometimes call it qualities or characteristics of money, and that it must be divisible. That means you must be able to divide it in smaller units. So if I tell you this product costs $275, you can give me a $200, you can give me a $50, you can give me a $20 and a $5, and together it will be a total of $275. If money wasn't divisible and I just gave you $300 and said, I can't, there isn't a smaller unit of that, you see, then it would really be a problem. Okay, it must be acceptable by everyone in the country. It only is acceptable if it has a value. And if the government says it's money, the government accepts it as our currency. And we accept it as our currency because it has a value to it. So you can look at other countries like Angola at the moment and Zimbabwe, their own currencies don't have this quality because the value of that currencies have dropped by so much. Okay, the next point, it must be portable. That means you must be able to put it in a wallet or in your pocket and in your handbag and walk to the shop and pay for what you want. They say after the Second World War in Germany, you had to fill up a whole wheelbarrow to pay for bread. That is only a story. I don't know if it is really true, but it just means that the value of their currency after the Second World War was very little, so they have to give a lot of notes or coins to get one bread. Then they also look at the characteristics or characteristic as homogeneous, and this characteristic is that it is not easy to counterfeit currencies like our paper money or our coins. It's very difficult to do it. People try to do it, but then it is not very long and they will find that this is not feeling the same as the normal notes. It don't have the same thickness, it is not the same type of paper. There is certain characteristics that is not like a watermark, not in this notes. So if money have that characteristic, then that you can't duplicate it easy, then it helps as a characteristic and that it is really worth as money. Okay, and then the last point, money must be limited in supply. Only if it is limited in supply, it will have a value. And that's why, or a very important task of our central bank, to make sure that there is not too much money in circulation. Because if there's too much money in circulation, it causes inflation. And if there's inflation, the value of our currency decreases.